Hello, I'm Beverly Kaiser Nutt with Action Coach.
And my name is Russell Dye, also with Action Coach.
So I've got a few questions for you.
All right.
Do you have anything for me?
I do. I have a few questions that I'd like to ask you, but I'll let ladies go first.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So, one of the things that we ask at every Action Coach session after we've gone through our educational time is, what's your biggest takeaway? So from everything you've learned so far in your time with us at Action Coach, what's your biggest takeaway?
Wow. That's a lot. So for those who don't know, I've been with Action Coach for going on about 2 months now. And so it's been like drinking through a fire hose for the last 8 weeks or so. But there's been a lot of information that's come my way. And I think if I had to narrow it down to just one, I think, as Marianne says, release your inner badass. And that's been one of my biggest takeaways, is just tapping into who I am and who I want to continue to be. We had a training this morning where we talked about I am statements. And so just continuing to affirm where I want to go and what I'm doing now and seeing my future ahead of me is ultimately my biggest takeaway.
Awesome.
I think Action Coach, I saw coming in the door, was a stepping stone for moving forward in life. So that's why I think that is so important.
Very good.
So I'll ask you my first question.
Okay.
So describe how you landed with Action Coach.
Oh, wow. Well, I landed in the middle of COVID after taking a break from a 12-year career in the home building industry. It was just time to move on because I think sometimes you do something for so long and you realize you've got more to offer and there's really no place to grow where you are except for to leave. So my husband and I had a long conversation and he's like, I think you should just go and start fresh somewhere else. So I turned in my resignation. Literally the next day, the state of North Carolina shut down with COVID. So
Wow.
it was a little bit of a break. I thought, I'm not going to find a job immediately, so I'm just going to do some gardening and enjoy my life and try to figure out what I wanted to do. And at the end of the day, after I kind of laid it all out on paper, the one thing that's been consistent in my life is coaching. Not coaching sports, but just coaching people. My friends,
Wow.
my kids will bring their friends home, and I'm coaching them on, you need to be in school, you need to do this, you need to stop drinking, you need to, whatever, all the need tos. But they always knew that they were welcome at our house and sleeping on our couch and eating the food in our refrigerator. But I always loved coaching them and helping them be successful. So I knew that I wanted to do coaching of some sort.
Okay.
My dad was an entrepreneur, and if he could have had somebody to have given him some coaching along the way, I think he could have really gone far in life. So I think I landed on business coaching because I'd like to be able to help people like my dad be successful.
That's awesome. That's an incredible story, much of what I didn't even know. So I'll let you.
All right, thank you. So what's a challenge that you faced, and what's the gift that you found in overcoming it?
Challenge I faced and the gift in overcoming it. So the first challenge that comes to mind, to be honest with you, is just being raised without both my parents. I think I have a relationship with both my mom and my dad now, and it's been great. But those relationships weren't fostered or even cultivated until I was almost an adult. And so I spent a lot of time growing up with my grandparents, pondering the what ifs. And once I truly embraced the gift in the wisdom my grandparents gave me, the opportunities they gave me, where that put me in life, and I truly was able to identify the gift and the blessing in that, and in what came from me being my grandparents' son they never had, if you will. So that's kind of how they've referenced me over the course of my life, and it's been a blessing.
That's sweet. Very cool.
So what does a typical day look like for you, Beverly? Beverly, I know you are a jack of all trades. You do a lot for us to keep the firm going. But what does a typical day look like for you, for the viewers?
Wow, gosh. Well, it starts pretty early. I do my web design, graphic design, calendar, like administrative stuff first thing in the morning when I'm fresh.
Yep.
And then from that point forward, it's usually meetings. Sometimes it's team meetings.
Yep.
Sometimes it's Action Coach regional meetings. And that's just awesome because we get to brainstorm with other people and figure out what we can do better and learn from our mistakes and affirm each other. So that's good. From that point forward, it's like reaching out to people via LinkedIn, Facebook, making phone calls. It's reaching out to businesses in the community to find out if there's a way that we can help them do what they do better. It's going to networking events and just putting ourselves out there, getting to know people in the community, and doing things like social networking, things at local bars, and inviting people to come and join us and be a part of that. So it's scheduling those, it's talking to people that own bars and saying, can we come? It's sending out invitations to businesses saying, please join us and be a part of this event. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a wrap up of my calendar, take a look at what I've done today and what I need to do tomorrow, and fill out my frog sheet and send it in to Kurt.
Yeah, you and me both, we know about those frog sheets, and some things tend to roll over, right? So you don't get everything done in a day. A lot of things tend to roll over. So, and we appreciate everything you do, Beverly.
Thank you.
I know I do.
I've got something for you now.
Oh, yeah.
You
Go
gonna
ahead.
ask me another question, or are you gonna?
Well, no, go ahead. Absolutely. No, I'm not going to steal your thunder.
No, this is really easy. I thought in the middle of all this, I would just throw you like an easy one.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, what's your favorite quote and why?
Favorite quote? Ooh, that's actually not easy.
I know you've heard a few from Marianne recently.
Yeah, the inner badass one. Then you have, and I always butcher quotes too, by the way, just side note.
Well, just your version of the quote.
My version of the quote, okay. It's a Martin Luther King quote that says something about darkness cannot flush out darkness, only light can do that. Something of that nature.
I love that. That's a good one.
Absolutely love that quote. I have a very photographic memory. So what's crazy is every time I go to the Martin Luther King Monument, because I'm originally from the DC area, so we spend a lot of time there, and I see it mentally all the time, a picture of that quote, and I'm able to find it immediately when we go. So,
Cool.
Yeah, so tell us about the impact that Action Coach has had on your life.
The impact that it's had on my life. Well, the education is a part of it, learning and growing and becoming a better person. But of all those things, there's so many bits and pieces. Like there's the business 30X, there's the 30X life, there's 30X wealth. It's a very well-rounded system of what we're teaching people.
Yes, it is.
But there's also something called quality mind. And I grew up very poor. I grew up with some people in my life that didn't always speak goodness over me, and not always the kindest words, and that was a negative impact. But being a part of Quality Mind has helped me to look at that, to address it, and to recognize what the truths are. And those I am statements you were talking about earlier, it's having that right mindset, and every day, saying, I am powerful. I have access to all of the resources that I need to do what I need to do.
Correct.
I'm a good person. I'm a loving person. I'm loving the people in my life well. It's just those daily affirmations of reminding me who I am, helping me to do what I need to do and to be there for the people I love.
Yeah, so to your point, as we were fleshing that out this morning and Marianne was talking about it, I just had to piggyback on what you said. It made me look at those I am statements a little bit more deeper. Because I think I was just kind of looking at it on a surface level and wasn't really looking at it with depth as far as where I truly see my life or my career going, much like you were just talking about. So yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'll let you go.
Thank you. So I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What do you want your kids to say about you to their kids? And what do you think they are saying about you?
Man, I don't know. I don't know what those pillow talk conversations are like when I put them down to bed at night. But, it's funny because I was just scrolling back through Facebook memories last night. And 7 years ago, I posted that my oldest daughter said, Daddy, you're a good man.
Oh.
And so if there's one thing I would like for them to be able to pass on to my grandchildren, great-grandchildren, is for them to say that their dad was a good man, and if to go a little bit deeper, to say that he was he is or was a man of integrity, a hard worker, a leader in the community, a pillar. Those are just some of the words that I would want them to share.
Right.
With their kids and their children's children.
Right. And I know for a fact that my kids say things like, she is so weird. I love my mom, but she is just the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know why she says the things she says sometimes. But we have a good time. We have a lot of laughs. But I agree with you. Like, at the end of the day, they know that I love them.
Correct.
They know that I'm there for them. And
Correct.
They can call me at any time, day or night, and I'm going to be on the spot there for them to help them.
Correct. And that's the most important part.
Yeah.
So my last question, Bev. I'll skip to this one. Um, as your colleague, what is the single most important thing that I can do to support you?
Communication.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, it's so important to communicate with one another.
Correct.
I've worked with people in the past that either you couldn't trust them, like they said one thing, but they were saying other things behind your back or
Correct.
doing other things. But it's just, it's that trust. It's just honoring each other. It's helping each other.
Correct.
It's, we're on the same team. We're looking to achieve the same things
Correct.
ultimately for our firm. And, how can I help you?
Correct.
How can you help me? What can we do to propel this engine forward, and because the more people that we help, the more we're helping our community.
Correct.
At the end of the day.
Correct. And I think that's what our mission is, right? World
Right.
abundance.
Right.
So yeah, that is fantastic. I'll reciprocate and say that for me, if I couldn't have asked for somebody who offers more support than you, because much like what you said, I've been in situations as well where you weren't able to actually truly trust the person that you're working with and working hand in hand with as closely as me and you do. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. It is nice to work with people that you trust.
Correct.
And people that have got your back, and that you're single focused, like you really are working together for the same purposes.
For the same common goal.
Right, exactly. So my last one, and I already asked you this today, so I know you're gonna. This is really gonna be the easy one.
Okay.
Is why do you do what you do?
Oh man, I do what I do for my family. I want to see my children and my children's children thrive. I want to see them do well in life. And I know that's broad. Well, what's the measurement for that, right? But whatever their goals are, I want to make sure that the resources are in place and available for them to truly approach and attack their dreams. I remember growing up and people would say, well, you can do anything you want to do in life. Well, as a child, you have a hard time conceptualizing what that really is. There's so much out here and there's so many experiences that children may not have had when they hear that being said to them. But I truly, genuinely want to make sure that as a parent, as a father, as a man, that I have put the resources in place. So that's exactly why I do what I do.
That's awesome. It is, at the end of the day, it's about family.
Absolutely.
It's about, we do what we do, we work hard, we want to be successful, not to have things, but to actually spend time, our valuable time with the people that we love.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.